Whether it's the holiday season or any other time of year, everybody loves great munchies, and my next guests are in the munchie business. Bruce Reifenberg and Mark Feil own the Bavarian Nut Company, which is in Clarence, and they're the purveyor of fine nuts, and they join us now on Kale & Company. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Brian.
Nice to have you with us on the show today. How and when did you guys decide that you're going to roast pecans and almonds and all the things you do?
I guess it was back in about 1997 when I started helping my uncle to do more events. He got into this business back in '94. I started helping about '97, and a few years went by, and when he found a time to retire, he said, "Tell those guys out at the fair I'm ready to sell my business. They've been after me for years." And I said, "Wait a minute, you've worked too hard, I've worked too hard, they love us. I want to keep this going." And that's how it happened.
And you guys were buddies before, right?
30 years.
30 years. So he called you up, and you said, "I want in," or how did it happen?
Well, when he was telling me that he wanted to buy it from his uncle, I wanted in then. But he was new at it and wanted to get it going, and so he asked me to come on board about 3 years ago.
Let's talk about the name, Bavarian Nut Company. What makes it Bavarian?
The cinnamon sugar vanilla recipe that is roasted on the almonds, on the pecans, on the cashews is the Bavarian nut. And it's about a 200-year-old German recipe. It's called the Bavarian nut.
And in Europe, many places, I mean, they're probably even more popular than here, are they not?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm trying to think I equate it to something we relate to in the U.S. Potato chips or popcorn or...
Right. Germans, they're healthy. They drink a lot of wine and they eat a lot of nuts. And where Americans walk down the street with a donut and a cup of coffee and have heart attacks, the Germans walk down with a cone of warm almonds and, well, tea or wine. And it's a healthy thing. And this is what we're trying to do, is to tell people, maybe replace your donuts with cinnamon glazed pecans with a cup of coffee and or almonds, and move. People are moving towards a healthier way of eating, and this is why we are becoming busier.
And you aren't the only guys that say that. I know
Yes.
doctors will tell you that nuts are...
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, almonds are good for you, and pecans are good for you. We take a good nut and make it a little better.
And the packaging is interesting because the tradition is in a cone.
Yes.
So you can literally walk down the street and you can eat
Yes.
these things one-handed, right?
It is a one-hand snack, the Bavarian cone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which makes it a perfect fit for festivals. Now, I've seen you guys at, I think it was Taste in Niagara that I was at, and you were there, but you do a whole lot of them, and you roast right on site.
Absolutely. It's the smell that brings the people. They say we got off the bus and we smelled you and we knew you were here, and it's so often people say, "You're the reason that we are here." From Buffalo to New York City, we came here because you're here and we know you're here, and it's the smell in the air, it's not, and the noise in the kettle, the almonds banging in the kettle, and the cinnamon just it permeates the place, and so that's what.
Yeah, we bring a fan and blow the smell around and lure them in.
Kind of the secret weapon, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And
now, the newest edition, and it's only, I think, a few months old, correct me if I'm wrong, is the store, right?
3 years,
3 years actually it's been
This
out.
will be our third December. We got in there in December of '07.
Right on Main Street in Clarence.
Right on Main Street in Clarence. I mean, we started out, doing New York State, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and we still do that. But our main focus is internet business in the store, and commercial accounts, wholesale, and shipping nuts all over the country.
Having visited the store and watched you actually doing some of the roasting, I mean, there's more to it than people might think.
Absolutely. I think I'm one of the oldest nut cookers in the state that I know of, anyway, by far. And I tell everybody, like, I have an oven, but I cannot bake a cake. There are nut companies out there that have a nut kettle but can't make a nut. And not to say we're the only company that's good, but experience does count. We have that right on our website. Experience counts when you're talking gourmet nuts. Don't trust your nuts to anybody. So.
We've expanded it too. Not only do we stick to the German recipe, I mean, we don't add, raspberry flavoring to them, or we stick to the cinnamon, sugar, vanilla. But we also created our own products, Buffalo hot nuts. I think you've had a couple of those.
Fantastic. And I know some of the things that you sell in the store, you've combined with other purveyors, and you put those nuts in chocolate, right?
Yes.
And that's a very interesting taste, because you get the sweetness of the chocolate, and then you get the bite, which is wonderful experience.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoy that combination.
We hope those are headed to the grocery stores soon, and there is our Bavarian, the Buffalo Hot Nut Cluster at Premier Gourmet in the Buffalo Hot Nuts in gourmet chocolate made by the Family Chocolate Shop in Clarence.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, because we've talked about you do festivals and fairs, and obviously you have the store. You do, your products are available in some other locations. I know Niagara Produce is one,
Yes,
right?
right in the city here in Lockport. Maverly's Unique Gifts in the village of Williamsville. They're at Johnson Estate Wineries in Westfield. And we're always looking for other people. Usually they come to us. So
We don't want
we'll
them to
see
be
who
like
asks.
in every store in the country, but more unique gift shops and things like that, because they are, you know, they're not a can of nuts you'd find in Tops. They're handmade by us in our store in Clarence. And
let's talk about the internet, because you sell on the internet.
BavarianNut.com. Everything's available, yes. And we've even got a photo page of some of our events.
Yeah, we're showing the viewers some of your events here on the show. So presumably folks experience them and say, I got to send this to Aunt Martha in Denver, right?
Absolutely.
and that's what happens.
That's a big part of our business. We've got a gentleman that comes in pretty much every week into our store to say these are going to Florida, these are going to Colorado, and he's got friends all over the country. And we do this commercially too. There's companies that give us a list, and we ship out for them.
Well, it sounds like a fun business, and we all love the product. I got to tell you, Bavarian Nut Company, BavarianNut.com, right?
Correct.
Is a website, 9146 Main Street in Clarence. Thanks.
Thank you, Brian.